Hey everybody, and welcome to Mediocre Gamers, where we discuss all things gaming. I'm Kaleb, and I'm joined again by my co-host, Crimson.
Hey, what's up?
Now, we haven't had a chance to play a whole lot of stuff together because everybody's been really busy, but Crimson, what have you been playing this week?
Other than being sick and playing the bedroom game or the bathroom game? Nothing. No.
That's the fun. That's the funnest game of all.
This stupid flu can go F itself.
Oh god, that's awful.
You guys almost got a solo cast.
Yup. I was all by myself until this morning.
Yeah, I started feeling a little bit better, but man, it kicked the crap out of me.
Understandable.
Now, come hell, high water, or rain, sunshine, flu, I still played video games, of course.
Of course.
Because I'm just that way. I did play a lot more World of Warships.
Awesome.
I've uploaded a couple videos. Tonight I'm uploading a carrier video.
Sweet.
So that way people can see the difference between a carrier and the normal.
Mm.
Because it is so drastically different gameplay-wise.
I was going to say, the carriers always struck me as interesting because they don't really function as a ship.
Right, it's really more an RTS.
Which is awesome, to be perfectly honest.
Right. And you get both types. You have the Japanese, which are Zerg, and the Americans, which are more like Protoss. A lot less things to control, but they hit heavier. Japanese, a lot more things to control, but they're weaker.
I gotcha.
But what did happen is this week, World of Warships Blitz came out. Now, Blitz is a program or a game for your mobile device, so Apple, Android devices. Super fun, much more laid back. Matches are a lot faster. So in the normal game, a match can take up to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
In Blitz, I think the match timer set at like 6 minutes. So they're much faster maps. The maps are smaller, so more engagement time.
Mm-hmm.
And the PvE portion of it is a lot better too. It is definitely a game that I would suggest people download and try since you don't have to pay a thing for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really fun, very fast, very casual oriented.
I gotcha. So maybe a good stepping stone for somebody who's interested in World of Warships, but it seems like it's a little bit of an easier title to get into, and then you can kind of graduate to the big boys.
Yeah, and more importantly is
it's on the go.
It's exactly. So if if you live in like Portland, Oregon, and you have a 2-hour bus ride to get to work, it's perfect.
Nice.
I wish I would have had that when I was 20. Also, the other incredibly interesting thing is because they're following the same steps that the normal World of Warships did.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the two main nations, Japanese and America, and they pretty much have full tech trees. So you have your destroyers, your cruisers, your battleships, and your aircraft carriers.
Okay.
Because in the normal game, they were the first ones to get all that too. And
I gotcha.
Now, in this one, you will also have the German cruiser line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only other full line is just cruisers for German. So we can expect to see destroyers and battleships later. They still haven't given us just German aircraft carriers in the normal game yet, so I don't expect them to come out first there.
I gotcha.
But Germans were not. They didn't have a need for aircraft carriers because they're in Europe. They could bomb London from Germany. Where a lot of the aircraft carrier stuff was South Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see a majority of them as Japanese and American ships.
I gotcha.
But they will definitely get more coming in, and they're very fun. Graphics aren't terrible. The aiming is done really nicely. It's just a really solid kind of game.
I feel like that's what was going to worry me, is how is aiming on a mobile title for such a heavy strategy game like that?
It actually works out really good. So you use the touchscreen to move around your aiming cursor pretty much.
Okay.
Um, so when you're next to a ship, a box will come up, and that's saying you're targeting it. So what will happen is, if you put your aiming reticle an inch in front of the ship,
mm-hmm.
when that ship moves, it will also move that aiming reticule for you. So you don't have to constantly move it. But you do have to position it to where you want it to be. And then you can fire. And of course, if you lead the target enough, you'll hit. If you lead it too much, you'll hit before the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can make little adjustments. So it's not auto aim, but it's more like lock on aim.
That's what I was going to say.
Once you have it,
it's almost like locking on the coordinates.
Exactly, which is kind of how shit do it in real life too. They fire a test shot. They go, okay, it was 5 degrees off of that port bow. Okay, adjust the guns, and then they keep the guns there, and then they mark that as a target, like target Bravo,
mm-hmm.
and the guns will follow the ship.
That's actually super cool.
Yeah, and then torpedoes work really nice in the game, and that is my only gripe right now, is I think destroyers are a little too powerful.
I gotcha. Just because the torpedoes work so well.
Yeah, you can get up really close,
mm-hmm.
and you can torp somebody pretty good. You may die because you're going to get shot back. You go up against a battleship, but it just, I think, just a little tuning down on the torps, and then I think it'll be right where it's at. But World of Warships had the same problem when they first started. The torpedo damage was a little high, and they've adjusted accordingly too.
I gotcha. That's actually really cool.
But let's be honest. In real life, one torpedo sunk ships.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. If you want realism, you only need to hit a ship once with a torpedo to sink it.
That is true. But and one of the games that we're going to very briefly touch on will be The Division later. And that's another thing that it's funny because you play games like Destiny, like World of Warships, like The Division, like, World of Warcraft, any games these days, everybody's a bullet sponge. And it's okay because you get used to it, but there is kind of a back and forth with realism in games, because you have that drastic gap of, Destiny, Division type game to the World of Warships, where it's semi-realistic, but it has some stuff like that where, you're going to have to hit somebody with multiple torpedoes where one would normally work. And then you've got stuff like Arma 3 that's so fucking realistic that it's so goddamn complicated you almost can't get into it.
Yeah, actually, let's compare two games that are two very popular games in their genre.
Okay.
You have World of Tanks,
yep.
which is a tank simulator game.
Mm-hmm.
It's done by the same guys who do World of Warships.
Mm-hmm.
And tanks will have a hit point box.
Yep.
And they do have spots on their tank that are weak spots, and you can get criticals. You can hit the ammo rack and blow up in the tank in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, you're just chipping away at their health.
Yeah.
And your guns do damage, just like Division, just like World of Warships, just like any of those.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, you have War Thunder,
mm-hmm.
which is a realistic tank game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people compare the two. The difference with War Thunder is there's no hit points on your tank.
What?
So so you get hit by a gun, it does the true physics mathematics of where the shrapnel will go, what it hits. If it hits your driver, your driver's dead. And
holy shit.
Your tank drives really slow because the captain's got to get out of the captain area and jump down into the driver's seat and start driving, and he doesn't know how to do it as well as the driver.
Wow.
90% of the time, when you get hit once in War Thunder, you're dead because it goes through the armor. It'll hit your ammunition that you have stored in it and blow the tank up. A lot of people will actually run low on ammo, means they'll they won't put in the max amount of ammo. So say your gun can hold up to 100 rounds, they'll put 25 in. Because first off, they're never going to kill 25 people. And the game takes that into account. If you only have 25, it puts those 25 in the correct spots, and all those empty spots are now empty. So if shrapnel hits that area, there's no ammo there, so it won't blow up.
So they actually dove really deep into the science, the logistics, the geometry, just all of it.
Everything. I mean, even the angles that shrapnel travels inside of a tank, and they do it for both their tank and their aircraft. And they even have a simulator battle where it doesn't show nameplates of any players at all on your team or the enemy team. You literally can't zoom out. It's in first person. You have to look through the commander's hatch to see. And it gives you no range finding and nothing. So you could see a tank and shoot it and end up killing a teammate because you don't know it was your teammate.
Oh,
you just saw a tank. It is very stressful.
I bet.
Especially not being able to see it from that third-person view.
Now, here's my question for something like War Thunder and World of Tanks and stuff, because I haven't played either one of those. Is there a way for you to have a team inside one tank? Like, have somebody looking through the command, or the captain's seat, doing the viewfinder, that sort of thing, somebody driving, somebody shooting?
No, that would be cool.
That's what I want. That's the game I want. I want big team battles. You got, 20 people or whatever. So 5 tanks on each side. They're crewed by 4-man crews or whatever. That would be fun.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I can't think of a game like that other than Battlefield.
Gotcha.
Which does do that in some of their tanks.
Yeah, some of them have multi-seats. But it sounds really cool. It sounds like... It sounds like this is kind of a genre that's been cropping up in the past couple of years, and it's kind of hitting its stride now. Like, people are finally figuring out how to make these vehicle simulator games.
I think it is too, and I think one of the things that really lets people like about it is the fact that they are a little slower paced. You're not...
Yep.
In Call of Duty, you're running into a building, boom, 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 bam, dead.
Yep.
That was what, a minute, and now you're respawning. Well, these games don't generally do respawning, so when you die, you go to another game in a different tank because you can't use that same tank because it's still in that fight.
Oh wow! I gotcha.
So if you want to use only one tank, you got to wait for the battle to get over with.
Oh.
So a lot of people will have multiple tanks.
That way they don't have to sit around and wait.
Yeah.
I gotcha. That's really cool, though. And it's definitely a genre that I haven't messed with a lot other than Armored Warfare, which I thought was a blast. And now, did you say that it's still around?
Yeah, in fact, they just updated it for Crisis in the Caribbean or something like that. And supposedly the new co-op or PvE co-op missions are ultra hard.
Ooh.
And are just really rewarding, and people are really enjoying it. And they've also fixed the PvP, because the problem with the PvP before was you had to wait for 15 people on each side, and everybody would just sit up on the ridge and shoot each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now they made the games 5 versus 5, so queues are a lot faster, games are a lot faster, and they made the maps smaller, so you can't just camp up on the ridge.
Yep. And see, I think that was the biggest problem. Like, I think we jumped into 1 or 2 PvP games because you said that you needed help with some challenge or something. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I jumped in and I'm like, this is fucking awful and I hate it.
It was. And the problem was you can only play PvE for so long. You want to play a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And they just dropped the ball, and they've slowly recovered from it.
And that's good. And that's why I do hold out hope for a lot of the dumpster fires that have been coming out lately, like Destiny 2. I hold out less hope just because they're idiots, but Um, look at The Division, look at World of Warships, look at World of Tanks, look at Armored Warfare. These are games that started as they were, which was solid games, but with a lot of issues, and then they have gradually gotten better and better and better to the point where now people are going back to them and going, holy crap, this is a whole new game.
Yeah, I agree. And you've seen that a lot with some good titles. And, the bad titles are weeding themselves out.
They are. And so I may have to go back and look at Armored Warfare again. And I'm definitely going to be watching some more World of Warships, and I may actually check out Blitz, just because it sounds like it's a little bit easier to get into, especially being new to that.
Casual.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be perfect for you. It's on your phone. It's easy to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, controls are decent.
Okay.
It's kind of a fun little game.
Okay.
And if you like Blitz, then you may end up trying the PC version,
I might. Awesome. Well, was there any other games that you played this week?
Nope.
Just the bathroom game and World of Warships Blitz. Okay.
Pretty much.
Fair enough. Did you get the high score in the bathroom game at least?
I don't know if I have to call a mechanic, but yeah, I'm good.
Nice.
Might have to call maintenance over, but we're good.
Fair enough. This week, I've actually been playing just some random stuff. I've still been playing The Division, working on weeklies. I do still need to try out survival mode because there is a weekly tied to that. And weeklies are really nice because obviously they're once a week, but there are 3 of them that you can earn. There is one for the survival mode, one for the underground mode, and one for just the general PvE stuff. And each one of those, when you finish them, gives you a weekly cache, and that cache has a guaranteed exotic item in it. So the highest tier right under classified. And
yeah, that sounds awesome.
It's great. The problem is getting to that weekly is kind of tough for that first one, because you are working towards certain things like, for instance, the underground one is a pain in the ass because you have to basically get to level 35 to even be able to complete it without having a higher level buddy, because everything is locked in the underground. So you go in and you can do one thing, and that is a one-phase mission. So it's a one-floor dungeon, basically. You go in, you do the objective, you get out. You gain XP, you get stuff. You have to do that until level 5, I think, which doesn't take too long. And then you can do it on challenging, I think. So it basically unlocks the difficulties and then unlocks the mutators and then unlocks the extra phases. So it's fine because you are constantly working towards something, but trying to get from 0 to 35 in a week is fucking awful because it plateaus hard.
Ooh.
But it's still rewarding, and like I was able to get my weekly cache, and I'm going to be running my parents and my buddy Eric through the last part of the mission tonight because I'm like right at 35. Like I'm just like one mission away. And so I'll be able to run them through it and get them their weeklies before it resets tomorrow. But it's been fun. Like it's a big carrot that's just hanging off in the distance. And you're like, I gotta get this. I gotta get the stuff. And I've been putting a lot of hours into this game to get that fucking.
Eric was playing?
Yeah, Eric's playing. Yeah, he actually played it on PS4 back in the day, and he's like, nice. It sucked. And then he heard about 1.8 getting released, and he's like, well, he picked it up on one of the Ubisoft sales for like $10-15. And he's like, this game's fucking incredible now. Like, it's a whole different game.
Way different than when it first came out.
It really is. And it's just kind of the game for me. Like, whenever, and it's bad. My parents are dreaming about it. Like, they're in this game. They are into this shit. Like, my dad and myself have spreadsheets of the gear that we have for the gear sets. Like, I have this Alpha Bridge chess piece, and it's gear score 272. And so every time that we get done doing runs, we start splitting up the gear. Hey, does anybody need this one? It's, a 281. Yeah, that's an upgrade for me. Like, it's
wow.
Like, this game is doing to us what Destiny 2 was trying to do. And I figured it out. I figured out nice. the science of it, the reason why it's such a good game, and it's holding our attention. And that is, it is the loot grind of Diablo 3 of, we're going to do a bunch of quick stuff, like an underground run can take 15 to 45 minutes depending on the phases. It's about 15 minutes per phase. So we're going to do a 15-minute run or a 30-minute run, and then we're going to get some loot. We're going to divvy that up to who needs it. We're going to do another run, do it again, whatever. Oh, hey, we want to go take a break. Let's go do some resistance. Let's do some horde mode. Let's go do running around and collecting some stuff to get some extra caches. Let's go do survival mode, because it's basically 7 days to die, but in the Division. Like, it's a full-on survival mode. And that's where it's at. It has the gear score type system of Destiny, where you're constantly trying to get a higher gear score. You're trying to get higher stats. You're trying to get better stuff. But also, you have those weeklies, like the Nightfall and stuff like that you're working towards, that guarantees you an exotic. So it's kind of like getting Luminous Ingrams. But you have the shoot and loot type system that is reminiscent of Diablo, with that kind of grind from Destiny, but with a lot of content. And like, we ended up running, the four of us went into the Dark Zone. It was Eric's first time in there, and that went about as expected. We were actually just kind of screwing around and having fun. We were looking for, one of the weeklies is kill 40 veterans in the Dark Zone, which is just purple enemies. For some reason, it was really hard to find them. So we're just kind of fucking around, running around. We're not looting anything, just in case we get ganked. Then we don't drop anything that we got. So we're running around. We can't find hardly any. We finally get them, but there's a landmark that's right next to us. And we're like, well, let's go in here. There's usually purples in the landmarks. So we go in, we kill everything. Okay. The boss drops a fucking ninja bike messenger bag, and I just kind of wanted to die. Because...
What's a ninja bike messenger bag?
The ninja bike messenger bag, I'm so glad you asked, is literally the most sought-after item in the entire fucking game. It is the Ring of Royal Grandeur from Diablo 3. So what it does, it's actually better, because what it does is it says it counts as one item in a set for every set. So it literally is just, this bag is now universally a set item for every set in the game.
Oh, damn.
So, the reason why it's so fucking broken and so sought after is the fact that you can only equip 6 pieces of gear. And set items are 2, 3, and 4 piece sets. And every set is up to a 4 piece until you get into classifieds, but we'll talk about that later. So everything has a 2, 3, and a 4 piece bonus. Well, you can only equip...
It lets you put a 4 or a 3, a 2, and a 2.
Or, more importantly, because that 4 piece bonus is the thing that really shows you what your build is. Like,
you could do 3 and 3.
You can do 4 and 3, actually. Because that bag counts as 1 for your 2 piece set, so then it's a 3, and then it counts for your 3 piece set, which is a 4.
Oh.
So basically, it'll, instead of being able to do a 4 and a 2, which is 6, you get to do a 4 and a 3, or any variation of that math. And so it literally goes like this. Go ahead.
Could you do a 3,
mm-hmm.
a 1 and a 1, and then ninja bike, so now it's a 4, 2, 2?
Yes.
Wow.
And that's the other thing, is it's better than the Ring of Royal Grandeur in Diablo, because the ring says that you have to have a minimum of 2 pieces.
Right, but you get 12 slots, so
it helps with that. But with the Division, it counts as being 1 for every set. and it doesn't have a restriction. So as long as you have one piece of that set, it gives you that second, the 2-piece bonus. And it's so good. And it's okay, so that thing drops. We have to extract it now. And we had just gotten ganked 5-10 minutes earlier. And we're all really well geared. Like, we're up in like the high 270s, early 280s. And we literally couldn't kill any of these 4 dudes that ganked us. So I don't know if they're hackers or they just got all classified gear. But so we basically had to go ahead.
Can you run to a different area and then extract there?
That's what we did. We literally could see there was a manhunt going on for these guys because they just kept killing everyone that came into the zone. So we literally could see them on the map in real time, and we were able to basically skirt around them. And we came really close. Like, they were a building away from us on this route. But we were basically able to skirt completely around them and run 2 or 3 zones down and extract. And it was so fucking intense. Like, we actually had somebody come to our extraction at the first one that we did, because it was like 1 zone down or 2 zones down. And we popped the extraction, there's another player that shows up, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm literally not even chancing it. I don't know if this guy's a hacker. I don't want to lose my fucking ninja bike. So we went 2 more zones down, popped the extraction, fought off the NPCs, extracted it, and we fucking got out of there. But
so who got the pack?
It dropped for me. But I ended up actually trading it to Eric for the house, which is the one gun that I needed for my build. And it is an exotic submachine gun. And I use the defense build. It's one of the sets. And basically what it says is when you have a 4-piece, you can use a submachine gun with your riot shield. Normally you can just use a pistol. So you basically get to use a primary weapon with your shield. And it is insane. So what the house does is it's just a normal SMG, but its special, unique talent for it being an exotic is, I can't remember what the actual talent is called, but basically 1/2 of your magazine deals 20% more damage, and that which half it is will flip every 15 seconds or when you reload. So basically, it's half of your shots do 20% more damage just for fun.
So pretty much a clip will do 10% more damage altogether.
Pretty much,
on average.
Yeah, and so it's just a really good weapon. And he got it, and it's actually a pretty good one. And my ninja bike was not a very good ninja bike. Like, I was still going to use it, but he was talking about needing it, and he's been saying that for weeks. And I'm like, it's not even a very good one. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, you can have it. It's fine. And we got like, I don't know, probably a couple of missions in. And he's like, you know what? I don't really need this house. He's like, you need it more than I do because you actually will use it. It's part of your build. So he's like, here, you can have this and I'll take the backpack. I was like, all right. And then
nice.
He ended up jumping off. My dad opened his weekly cache and got another ninja bike, and it was perfect. It had health and ammo already on it, so it was literally the best one that could possibly drop.
Very nice.
And then he ended up giving it to me because my dad's silly, and he knew I wanted one. And even though it's an item that everyone needs, he's like...
But by having one person in the group get to that echelon, that peak, it allows everybody in the group to have an easier time.
Exactly.
Instead of everybody plateauing before the peak.
Exactly. And so my mom has one, I have one, and Eric has one. So we're just trying to get my dad one now. And once you get up to 30, we'll see if we can get you one too. They are very, very rare. But when you see one drop, your sphincter just clenches. Especially in the dark zone.
And I'll be honest, the only reason why I'm not jumping in every day on the division right now is because I'm kind of afraid of losing my shit in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not losing my stuff, but getting addicted to the point where I'm, worried.
Yeah. And I feel
Warships
like this game you will get addicted to the Division. You will.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will be as deep of a dive as Destiny was, because the game, like the actual gunplay, isn't as good, so it's not as... I don't know. It, like fucking snorting sugar. Like it doesn't give you... It's satisfying, it's rewarding, it's fun, there's a ton of content, but with that gunplay not being the best... I won't say you'll get burned out, but you'll be like, you know what? I think I can stop for a minute. I think I can go eat. That sort of thing.
I hope.
Yeah. But we definitely want to get you up to 30.
If you guys ever want to lose weight, just play Destiny 2 and forget your life.
Yep. I will say that I was the opposite of you. I spent less money while playing Destiny. I actually had more money in my bank account than I ever have. Because I wasn't buying anything. I wasn't, going out and eating out a bunch. I wasn't going and buying a bunch of new games or new, movies or anything like that. I was literally like, go to work, come home, play Destiny.
And I've been noticing that with World of Warships too. Like, I haven't been spending real money on the game.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been working towards my goals. Mm-hmm. And that's the other reason why I've been spending so much time in World of Warships, is I have a timed goal that I'm trying to complete.
Definitely.
And you know what? It's fine. I don't need to spend money on this game. Now, granted, would I like to buy one of those ships? Yes.
Sure.
But I don't need it.
But yeah, so we hope that you'll jump into the Division. I think I'm like one level off on my other character, so I should be able to run with you here pretty soon.
Sweet. It is much funner with two people.
Oh yeah, and once RJ jumps in, hopefully when he gets back, he'll be able to pick it up, and we can all three run and do some videos and stuff, because I think the Division is his game. Like, it is exactly what he wants.
I'm kind of hoping RJ gets in too, so we can do all three of us together again.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll probably just have to make new characters, because he'll be level 1 and it takes a little while to get where we are. But there's 4 character slots, so we can just level him up until he hits then, and then switch over to our other characters.
Yep.
But
so sounds like you've been playing a lot of the Division.
I have been. That has definitely been the soul-sucking game of the month, really. But I've also been...
Welcome to Mediocre Gamers, where we play the Division and World of Warships.
I guess at least it's slightly more diverse than when it was, hey, welcome to Mediocre Gamers, the Destiny 2 podcast.
Yeah, no shit, right?
We did public events today, and for the past 6 days. It's a little bit more diverse. But speaking of diverse games, though, I have been playing a couple of other games that I was able to pick up during the Humble winter sale. They had the Ubisoft games on sale, and I got to play Hollow Knight, which is not a Ubisoft game, but it is a really weird... It's just a weird game. It's something I haven't really played much of before. I played like Rogue Legacy, which is a roguelite platformer in the style of kind of like Castlevania-esque. It's very retro.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, it's that kind of Metroidvania, but not really. And Hollow Knight is kind of like that, except it is one of the most beautiful games that I have seen, especially in this type of format, that 2D side-scroller platformer type thing. It is beautiful. The colors, the graphics, just the attention to detail, everything looks amazing. And I've got a video. It is actually going to be uploaded here probably within the next day or so of me playing it. And it is frustrating as fuck because I'm not playing it on a controller, and it's definitely recommended. But it feels very Dark Souls-y because of the kind of punishment system and how you do stuff. But it really expertly blends a retro style gameplay with a kind of Dark Souls feel, and the exploration system, and just it's really cool. I highly recommend anybody check it out if you just want to kind of jump into something different or have kind of a game that you're like, yeah, I can screw around with this for a little bit. And it's a little more relaxing than something like a first-person shooter.
I'll check it out with when you upload that video.
Yeah, and it's
I'll take a look at it.
It's like a 30-minute video of me trying to get to one fucking boss because I kept dying. But like it's there is a lot of fucking cussing in that video. Oh my god! And then I end up getting to the boss and then I fucking die, and then I have to go all the way back. But it definitely has that kind of Dark Souls feel to it. Of you die, you get punished, you have to run back, you have to find your body, you have to get your shit back, and then keep going. But it's really cool. It's actually got a pretty cool story. I won't spoil it or anything, but basically your kingdom or this kingdom kind of got I don't even know. It kind of imploded and fell into this chasm, and underground there's all these bug people, and these bug people start like converting the wildlife and converting the people, kind of Borgish from Star Trek. They're assimilating people into their bug-like ways and turning them all feral. So it's kind of cool. I'm still learning about the story, but it's a fun game. But on that Ubisoft sale, I also was able to pick up South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Oh, I love this game.
It's so fucking dumb. It's
so wrong.
It is okay. And I've got a couple of notes here because I really wanted to hit on some of these things. It is one of the dumbest fucking games you will ever play. I'm not even gonna lie. But it is, if you do not like South Park, if you do not like that kind of humor, or South Park in general, you will not have fun with this game. To quote South Park, you're gonna have a real bad time.
Yeah.
But if you can not take it seriously, if you like South Park, if you can handle that kind of humor or like that kind of humor, it's fucking fun. Like it's,
yeah.
Oh,
it encapsulates the essence of South Park. It really does.
It does. And one of the things that I loved so much about it is that it feels like you're playing through a season of South Park. Like when you go to a cutscene and it transitions into a cutscene so well, it is so seamless. But like, oh, you go up and you talk to this person, it triggers a cutscene, and it's literally a scene from the show. Like it's not a pre-made scene. It is a scene for this game, but it's animated, it's voiced just like an episode.
It really is. And on that note, like the part 2, the fractured butthole, also, I mean, it even goes further. It looks better. It looks more tied in with those cutscenes in the normal world. I mean, they definitely upped it a little bit for the PlayStation 4. Because I think Stick of Truth originally came out on PlayStation 3.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's an older game, yeah. But
yeah, so good.
It really is. But it has the original voice actors from what I understand. Like everybody sounded like it was an episode of South Park. Yep. And it's made by the people who did South Park. Like it didn't feel like it was, hey, we gave, Ubisoft or EA or Activision the rights to do a game and then they fucked it all up. Like it feels like they did it and they did it right. But it is a very simple RPG. Like the puzzles will kind of get you at first, but then when you start thinking outside the box, it won't be so bad. Like there's a point where you're trying to get into a gated community and the guard at the gate will mace you in the face and make you vomit. And you actually get an email, and if you check that email, it will say that the video of you getting pepper sprayed and vomiting is all over the internet. And then there's a comment on that from I can't remember their names, but the gun shop owners, and that they have gas masks. Yeah. And so if you don't see that, you're going to get frustrated and not know what to do. But if you go to that shop and buy a gas mask, you can go in there and, you basically just stand there and get pepper sprayed in the face and nothing happens. Then you beat the living shit out of him.
Yep.
And
it's fun.
It's just like that. But the combat, like it's traditional old school turn-based RPG combat. It's simple. It's like Final Fantasy 1. but it's fun. Like, it's satisfying, and you don't have an encounter like every 5 seconds, so the battles actually feel fun and spread out just enough. Like, they're not too far apart that it feels like you're never fighting anything, but it feels like they're meaningful. Like, when you go and do a mission, you have encounters. You have to fight through those encounters. You have to fight a boss. You have to do that. And you'll get ambushed every so often, but you'll see it coming because they're hiding in the bushes and you can see their hats or something. That type of stuff. It's not, I take 2 steps, I'm in an encounter. Okay, that took 5 minutes. I take 2 more steps. God damn it. But some of the highly offensive things that just made me go, holy fuck. Did they just say that? Or did they just do that? Like, you go and you're trying to run an errand and you have to fight a bunch of meth heads? And
have you gotten to the anal probe section yet?
I have not. Oh my god.
Oh, so good.
Oh my god. But it's like, so Kenny is dressed up as the princess. Kenny's the princess of the story. And you will get him as a companion, like a teammate later. And every teammate has a special ability, like a buddy action that they can do to get you out of certain puzzles. Yep. And Kenny...
Like Chrono Trigger.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, oh, this is great, because you get to see those kind of homages to those games.
The old games that we grew up with.
Exactly. And I think that's part of the awesome aspect of this game, is that it's South Park, but it's also paying tribute to so many of the games that we grew up with. But he literally pulls his shirt down and flashes children. This is a child exposing himself to children to entice these kids to come touch him, and then bashes them in the head.
Wow.
It's
such a bad game.
I literally stopped what I was doing, and I literally go, did they just fucking do that? And again,
it's South Park, they'll do it all.
They will, and that's the thing, is they make fun of everybody. They do super offensive jokes for the sake of being offensive. That is exactly what they do, and they have been doing it for well over a decade now. So if you don't like it, do not play this game. But if you do like South Park, definitely check it out, because it's fun, it's funny, it's awful, it'll make you feel bad about yourself. Like, it's
pretty much,
but it's fun, it's funny, it's definitely worth checking out, and I'm definitely gonna check out the Fractured Butthole later. In other news, I am actually selling my Game of Thrones LCG collection. It's kind of been a long time coming, just because of what FFG has been doing to the game. We had a new card come out with this new chapter pack, and as soon as it got spoiled, it was kind of the last nail in the coffin for me. It's called Forgotten by History, and this card's just, it literally is so stupid and unnecessary and overpowered. So what it does is it costs 3 gold, so it's expensive, but it also means that nobody's going to be able to Hand's Judgment it, usually. It is a dominance action, it is neutral, and it says, dominance action. Choose a character controlled by an opponent that has cost equal to or less than the amount of power on their faction card. So, for instance, let's say they have 6 power on their faction card, then you can hit their Victarion, you can hit their Stannis, whatever. And you take that character and you shuffle it back into their deck.
Yeah, that's broken.
Yep. Especially since you need 15 power to win. If they have 7 power on their faction card, they're now less than halfway to winning, and you can hit any character in the entire game.
Yep.
Actually, I think there's one character you can't. I think there's one character that's 8, but go ahead.
And even a character that has power on them.
And that's the point. That is exactly my point. Oh, that Queen Cersei has, 4 or 5 power on her? Cool. She goes back to your deck, and you just lost all that power.
Now, if this card had said any power on the character put on their house card, I think it would have been more balanced.
Yeah.
But they don't want to make balanced cards. They want to make overpowered power creep cards.
Yep. They want power rush, and they want cards that take away characters from play, like this. And this was just the last bit for me, because I looked at it and my first thought was, why did they make this card? And then my second thought was, this says Martell written all over it. I cannot even...
Can Bodyguard?
Bodyguard cannot. Dupes can, but Bodyguard cannot. Bodyguard says killed or discarded, I believe.
Okay, and dupes leaves play.
And dupes are leaves play. Dupes are basically the only thing that's going to save you, because generally people aren't going to have 3 gold to use Hand's Judgment to counter that on dominance.
Yeah. On dominance.
Yeah. So, and with, houses getting more and more income, 3 gold isn't even that big of a deal. Oh, and I'm sorry. Their balance to this card is you have to kneel your faction card to use it. I'm sorry. So kneel your faction card and then shuffle their, 6 or 7 power character back into their deck. I
mean, a couple more OP cards that tap your house card. Maybe. No,
because that one's still, like, unless there's one that says, kneel your house card to gain 10 power. Because the amount that you can set somebody back. Do what?
Don't give them any ideas.
No shit. I'm quitting the game. They can do whatever the fuck they want now. But there is something else that I do want to address as well, and I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to slander anybody. But this is the other reason why I'm looking to quit. And with where FFG is taking the game, really making the power creep more than blatant, and not really coming back down to earth, like it's just going up and up and up, and old cards are going down and down and down. And it's just not as fun when you get fucked over by a single card instead of it being strategy. It's coming down to luck now. And also it's coming down to this, and I will get to that in just a second. But specifically, one of the issues, or several of the issues that I've been having, has been primarily part of our play group and just where the game is in general. But the past few tournaments have brought some issues that I wasn't really expecting. Some personal ones, some professional ones. Specifically, there's been a lot of drama. There's been some bullying. There's been some really bad judge calls that have cost me games in top 4. And some pure straight up bias in a tournament setting by the judges. So it's kind of just gotten to the point where I was spending a bunch of money on this game, $15 a month to buy the packs, $20, $30 whenever a big box comes out. And then I would go to the shop to play some games. We weren't really having any like regularly scheduled events. We were doing a once a month tournament, and that was great. And then that just kind of stopped happening for whatever reason. And then it just kind of devolved from there. People meet up sometimes. A lot of times they don't. And I know the holidays are definitely a hard time to do it, but it's been happening for a while. But when I did go to tournaments, the past few being what they were, it's kind of just in the back of my mind going, I wonder if I'm going to get fucked over by a bad ruling again this tournament. Or I wonder if it's going to come down to a ruling or bias or miscommunication instead of it coming down to skill. And with this happening multiple times in different aspects and different circumstances and situations, I now have that anxiety that is already high. I have an anxiety disorder, and now I go into a tournament where I'm supposed to be having fun and playing with my friends, and now I have in the back of my head, I wonder if it's not going to come down to skill or luck. It's going to come down to me getting fucked over from a bad call or bias. And
I can understand that, man. And it sounds like it's a good time to jump out and take a break.
Yeah. And I think that's just, it's just kind of all culminated into this. And then with all the pieces fitting together, I'm like, I'm out. But
you can always come play L5R with me.
I don't know about that. I think I'll just stick to Arkham. But
yeah,
it's when you have that anxiety already going into a competitive setting, and then you have that in the back of your mind, I notice that I will make more mistakes. And that's just in general when you are having an anxiety attack or you've got something else on your mind, you're not going to be paying as much attention. But it's not fun going into a tournament supposing to have fun and being stressed about something that shouldn't even be an issue. and it's just kind of gotten to be more of a hassle. So I am selling my collection. Hopefully it's going to be to one of my local friends who is interested. And I mean, I've got tons of stuff. I've got so many alt art stuff. I've got a ton of rare alt art stuff. So whoever ends up getting this collection should be quite happy. And I definitely wish him the best. And I'm not completely done playing Thrones. I've already talked to some of my friends, and they've said, hey, if you want to play, you can borrow a deck. And that's what I did in the last tournament. I didn't have any decks built, so I just borrowed one, and I made top 4. And then that happened. So
yep.
I'll still play on occasion, but it's definitely not where my heart is anymore.
We still have Iron Throne.
We still
have Iron Throne if you just want to play.
Yep, still got Iron Throne, still got, friends with extra decks. But it's just, I think for me, it's just time to move on and get away from a lot of that stress and stuff. But I think you had a point that you were wanting to say.
Yeah, well, speaking about card games just in general, the Star Wars LCG is doing one more pack, and then that card game is going to be finished. They decided to end it instead of doing cycles. I think a lot of that has to do with Destiny taking off so much.
I gotcha.
They're just like, now there's talk about maybe a co-op Star Wars coming back out. I would like to see that. I would love a co-op Star Wars where you're battling the Empire as the Rebels, or you're battling the Rebels as the Empire. I would like to see something. I think they could definitely do something with that.
Okay. I think they should just bring
cool.
Galaxies back, but
I agree, but it needs to be Galaxies has to be in a digital format. It's too hard to make it as a.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, where is my Destiny's TCG online again? I want them to bring it back.
I would like to see them do all their games as digital games, but. The other thing is I was at the card shop, and I have a friend up there, Brett, who made a co-op Avatar: The Last Airbender game.
Ooh.
And I got to play it, and I have to say it's really fun. And I know, he's just in the design phase right now, but maybe eventually once he gets it a little bit more worked out, maybe I'll take my phone up there and record a couple games.
That would be awesome.
Post them up there. And, if anybody out there who does listen to us and does have information on, publishing and stuff like that, send it to our email at show@mediocregamers.com, and I'll pass it on to them because, we had a blast. And, I think there should, it would be nice to see a company out there that did help the little guys get into the genre of making card games and stuff.
Definitely.
And kind of segue into our next point, it's just nice. It would be nice to see a larger company take on little creators and help them out and boost them up.
Oh, instead of fucking them over like YouTube did?
Yeah, so now let's talk about our next point.
Yeah, so they ended up coming out with a policy change due to a lot of the recent controversies with the channels that were doing inappropriate content and just straight up disturbing content geared towards children.
The kids, Logan Paul. It's not like they don't have a foot to stand on here.
Yeah, like there definitely needed to be a change. And I completely agree with that. I think that this was definitely something that needed to happen, just not this way. Because what they decided to do was go, hey, we've been having people take advantage of our algorithm, which is and I use this term a lot lately because it seems like everything is turning into one these days, but their algorithm is a fucking dumpster fire. They constantly blame that for everything. Every time there's a controversy, every time, like the kids thing. Oh, well, they're taking advantage of our algorithm. Well, maybe your fucking algorithm sucks and it's too easy to take advantage of. Maybe you should fix that. Stop sitting there going, hey, we're going to punish everybody because of our fuck up. But anyway, let's back on point. So this policy change came out after these big controversies, and one of the, ones with, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, PewDiePie, and the kids thing, people like us who just have a YouTube channel for gameplay videos, and people like Philip DeFranco, who are definitely a bigger, a very big YouTube personality, had nothing to do with it. Now, with that difference between us is we have, 32 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and he has hundreds of thousands, or however many.
Millions.
Does he have millions now? Okay. Yeah, he's got a ton, and rightly so. But here's what they basically did. You need 1,000 subscribers, and you need 4,000...
Yeah, 4,000 in a month.
Well, you need 4,000 total on your page to be considered. Oh, okay. But you also need 4,000 watch hours on your content for the year to be considered. That's
insane.
Yeah, to be considered to be a partner to monetize videos.
Look, we're not doing it for the money, but it would be nice to get a little bit back.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, and this is kind of the point of contention, because PewDiePie opened his stupid fucking mouth and decided to criticize the people who were upset about this, saying that, he didn't have any, he wasn't making any money until he had, 25,000 subscribers or whatever. That's fine. Nobody gives a shit. Fuck off. Shut your mouth. I fucking hate PewDiePie. He's a fucking idiot. But so here's the biggest problem with this, and that is that it's not about the people making $2.50 in a year, or because that's YouTube's defense, is saying that most of the people that this is going to affect weren't even making that much money with us anyways. It's not about that you're taking money away from us. You're taking incentive away from us. You're saying that because it's a carrot. It's sitting there saying, hey, I made $2.50. I got paid to make the content that I make. It's incentive. It's a motivation. It's saying I can do this. That I'm going to make more money. I'm going to put out more content. I'm going to hone my craft and do better.
Exactly. And without that carrot, you don't have the Philip DeFrancos. You don't have the PewDiePies.
Yeah.
You don't have those big contributors later. If they didn't, they all started somewhere.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. I started watching a YouTube channel called The Know. I highly recommend them. They're
same here. Yeah.
They're a great channel. They're fucking hilarious, and they're great, and they talk about the gaming news and internet news and stuff like that. But one of that's what they were saying actually was that you're not going to have those up and coming creators anymore. You're not going to have the next Philip DeFranco, PewDiePie, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. You're not going to have those big names come up anymore because now they don't have incentive. Now they're not even going to show up on the radar unless they go viral. And at that point, it's more of a lottery. Because as you were saying earlier today when we were talking, there's so much oversaturation of content and users in YouTube that most of the time you're not even going to show up on anybody's radar. Like, the only reason why we have the 32 subscribers that we have is because of word of mouth, advertising.
Right. And, I like World of Warships. I love watching, videos on World of Warships.
Yeah.
And the problem is there's like 5 guys.
Yeah.
And then you have all the other people, and it's like, when you do get their video, the biggest problem I have is that they don't fucking use a microphone. It's like, go buy a fucking microphone. Mm-hmm. I don't want text on the screen. I want to hear you talk, because most likely I'm listening to your video, not watching your video.
Yeah.
And, so we got 5 guys and everybody else just is half-assing it. And it's like, come on, we need to get those guys the incentive to go out and buy that microphone. Why would somebody go spend $50 on a microphone when there's no incentive for them to go do that?
Yeah, and I will say that I would not have bought my Yeti or even the Snowball that I had before if we weren't doing the podcast. Like, if we weren't doing the podcast, I would be using my headset mic for whatever reason, because I don't have a reason to sit there and pour hours and hours and hours into content and upload it to YouTube for it to be for nothing. And again, it could be 10 years from now is when I become a big YouTube star, or we become a very big, YouTube channel as Mediocre Gamers. That's fine. But now the incentive is gone, and the bar is set so fucking high that to reach it, you're going to have to put in more work than it's actually worth. And again,
Yes, I agree.
it turns into a lottery of hoping that you get discovered by somebody. But, you know, I love that this is their response to the controversies of inappropriate content and stuff like that is, and I had actually said something about this before, of they go, hey, there's been some controversies. There's been people taking advantage of our algorithm. There's been controversies with Logan Paul and Jake Paul and PewDiePie. So our answer to it is fuck the poor.
Yeah, yeah. No, not the big YouTubers.
Yeah, yeah.
But the little.
That really pisses me off. And if you watch Philip DeFranco, if you watch The Know or anything like that, you already know that everybody's pretty pissed about this because everybody sees that hypocrisy. They go, okay, so you're not punishing the big YouTube stars because they're the ones making you money.
Yeah.
And
so now, what are we going to do about it?
Well, after doing a bit of research, and I'm still doing research on it and testing out the waters, but this is something I haven't really messed with before, but I am looking to go to Twitch. They have made some very interesting advances on their end, and a lot of the news that I'm seeing out of YouTube is a lot of the YouTube people are actually switching over to Twitch as well. Originally, Twitch was just for kind of live streaming, the quote-unquote broadcasting and stuff like that, but you can now actually upload videos. And the nice thing is that supposedly when you upload videos, it will actually also upload it to your YouTube as well. And I have mine linked to our Mediocre Gamers one, so when I am uploading videos to Twitch, it should also upload them to our Mediocre Gamers channel as well.
Now, are we uploading videos to the Mediocre Gamers Twitch channel?
I am not currently, because there's a couple of reasons why. Because this is where things get a little dicey, and this is one of the things I don't like. It's kind of hard to share a Twitch account because there are certain benefits that like my account has because I am a Twitch Prime member, and I believe you are as well.
Yes.
But we can't link our Prime accounts to our Mediocre Gamers, the shared one. However, if we get active on Twitch, and I won't go into the details right now, but if we get active on Twitch, we can actually have a team, a Twitch team channel or page that will have all three of us on there. So instead of us going, because we're going to have the links to me and Crimson's Twitch channels in the description below, but we will then have the Mediocre Gamers team Twitch on there. And when you click on that, it should take you to the team Twitch, and it will have all three of us on there. And then you can watch all of our videos. You can click on each individual person and go to their channel specifically, follow them. And it's basically like the Mediocre Gamers umbrella for the three of us. And
Sounds good.
That's what I'm hoping to do. And again, you were talking about the oversaturation on YouTube, and with Twitch being primarily game focused, it's a little bit easier to get noticed. They're a lot more rewarding with people. It's a lot easier to become a partner. They look out for their people a lot more than YouTube does, especially now. But,
yeah,
and this is the interesting thing, is that I had no content on my Twitch channel. Okay? Because I just haven't really messed with it until yesterday. And so I started updating the info, linking accounts to it and stuff like that. And I already had 4 or 5 views on it within about an hour or two. And there was nothing there for them to watch, but it'll show how many people looked at my page. Yep. That's more than a lot of our recent videos on YouTube have gotten because, again, you're not getting seen on that. But if somebody goes on Twitch and types in Heroes of the Storm, and I've got a Heroes of the Storm video, it may pop up.
Yeah.
And
the algorithm's a little better there.
Exactly. And so...
Or unbiased.
Yes. And so I think that's going to be something that we really work on, and we're going to keep everybody updated, of course. But it's going to be kind of nice because now I have incentive to actually work on stuff on Twitch, to put out more content, which I've got a ton of videos that are queued up. And that's the other thing, is that you can actually queue videos for upload instead of having to do it one at a fucking time.
Yeah.
So I can queue 7 videos and then go to sleep. Do I?
And I also like the idea of, hey, if people want to watch me play World of Warships, they can check out my Twitch channel, which is, twitch.tv crimson_attic. I love it. If they want to go check out yours, they can go to, twitch.tv/KaleEnders.
Yep.
And they know that what they're going to get over there. They're going to get The Division. They're going to get some indie games.
Yep.
They know what they're going to get over at mine.
Exactly.
They're going to get World of Warships. And maybe even World of Warships Blitz.
Exactly. And see, that's why I'm so excited about going over to Twitch. And again, we haven't been picked up by Twitch. This isn't sponsored or anything. This is literally kind of a last-ditch effort. It really is a last-ditch effort for us to go, okay, YouTube fucked us. We're not really getting seen over there. We're still going to keep it up to date because when we upload stuff on Twitch, it should go to YouTube. So we're still going to have content on there for our subscribers, but we're not abandoning it, but we're kind of abandoning it.
Oh, here's another great thing is my PlayStation 4 is connected to my Twitch account, which means I can upload directly from my PlayStation 4. So when I play Horizon Zero Dawn or South Park Fractured Butthole, yes, I got it for the PlayStation 4 instead of the computer.
I can definitely...
Those videos can go up there.
Yeah, and see, that is the other thing, is that we're able to upload stuff from consoles and kind of everything.
Your phone?
Yeah, your phone. There's a lot more that we can do with it, especially being gamers. We're also going to try and actually do, hopefully, some live streams of us recording the podcast at some point, like actual video chats for it, so people can watch us sitting in our pajamas and screaming about how Destiny sucks and FFG can eat a bag of dicks.
That will probably go to the main Mediocre Gamers account.
Yeah, but also, and this is the other cool thing, is that let's say people aren't subscribing to me, but they're subscribing to you. Well, the nice thing is that we can actually all record.
Set up a host.
Yeah, but we can all record or all live stream it, and people who are subscribed to my channel, but not yours, can still watch us record the podcast or record the gameplay that we're doing. Same with you. So that's the other nice thing, is that it hits all the fronts because it's almost advertising for everybody,
And the other thing you can do is you can set up the Mediocre Gamers account to auto host when one of us is streaming. So what it does is it will ping out saying, Mediocre Gamers is streaming, and when they click on it, it'll actually take them to our stream.
That's super cool.
So because that's the umbrella of it.
Nice. Yeah, see, so just a lot of options and a lot more of just features for people like us who are actually trying to do exactly what Twitch is trying to do, which is show people gameplay, show people playing games. And that's the whole point. Is our mission statement when we founded this podcast was, it's experiences. This is our experiences on the games that we're playing each week. And YouTube does not fulfill that role for us, and they've punished us for basically not being Logan Paul and PewDiePie. With Twitch, I can go and say, hey, I'm going to stream some Hollow Knight. Or, you know what? Fuck it. I don't even want to stream. I want to record a video and upload it. I can do that. But let's say I want to stream some Hollow Knight. I'm going to stream it. If people watch, they'll be getting my real-time experiences. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
So am I. I'm excited to see what the future holds with this.
Definitely. So we do not have a Twitch account for RJ right now. He does not have one that I know of. But hopefully once we get things rolling and he comes back from hiatus, that he'll be able to set up his, and then we can really start rolling. But as always, all the links will be in the description below. So no worries with that. But any closing thoughts from you, Crimson?
No, just get out there and play some games and enjoy some games. And just enjoy the mediocrity of playing games mediocrity.
All right. Well, as always, thank you all for listening, and you can check out our previous episodes at mediocregamers.com, as well as on iTunes and Google Play. And you can keep up to date with us on Facebook and Twitter at 2mediocregamers. And you can also chat with us on Discord. And as we've been saying, the links will be down below. But you know what? I mean, get out there and play some games. and play some games with us.
Sounds good.
Peace. Oh, 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 oh.